That's the weirdest letter I've ever seen. Hi, I'm Ryan from Educate.me, and today we're going to look at why you should be using a password manager. In today's society, passwords are a necessary evil, and we have to deal with them. So how do people deal with them? They usually use the same password for everything, or they write them down a lot. Today I'm going to show you what a password manager is, how you'll use it, and why you would want to use it. I'm going to start at Chrome here, and we're going to go through setting up the password manager so you can see the process of setting it up, and then as we go through, we'll talk about the importance of the password manager. The password manager I'm going to demonstrate is Bitwarden. There are a bunch out there. This video isn't meant to be a review of all the password managers. This is the one that I currently use. I've used LastPass in the past, and I've used KeePass, but this is the one that I currently really like. Password managers most of the time let you easily switch between them, so it's not a big deal. Just use one is the most important piece. So we have our Bitwarden here. They have plans and pricing, and basically the basic free account, it says basic account, it'll do everything you need to do. The other ones, if you wanted to share passwords with other people or share or encrypt files, you would look at some of the other ones, but we're just going to look at the basic free account. I'm going to click on create free account. Now it's going to ask for my email address I'm going to use. Master password is very important. If you forget your master password, there is no way to recover your encrypted saved passwords. Your passwords are encrypted with your master password. So if you forget your master password, you might as well forget about your password vault because you will not be able to decrypt it. Bitwarden will not be able to decrypt it. This is the way all the password managers work. They encrypt your passwords with your master password, and there's no way to decrypt it without that master password. The advantage here is you have one password to remember, your master password. That's the only password you need to remember. Now, when we look at master password here, use suggested password. That is a terrible password for you to try to remember. If you can remember that, more power to you. If you use that password, you'd probably write it down and other people would get it. And it's even more important to keep your master password not written down, because if somebody gets your master password, they have access to all of your passwords. To create a complicated password that's easy to remember, I start with the site Use a Passphrase. If you want to use all four of them, that makes it even better. I'm going to just use two of them. Dreaded previous. These are the two I'm going to use for my passphrase. It's better to use 3 words, but as we're just starting out, let's just pick with 2 words that we're going to remember. Dreaded previous. Now, dreaded previous by themselves isn't the most secure. We're going to make it a little bit more secure. We're going to capitalize both words. Dreaded previous. We're going to separate them with a hyphen, and then we're going to put a letter at the end, a number at the end. That's the weirdest letter I've ever seen. So now it's dreaded previous 3. That's pretty easy to remember, and that's pretty difficult to crack. So let's test that password and see how strong it is. I'm going to put that in here, and it's going to look at that and it says, nice password. Doesn't appear in any databases. It's hack resistant. I don't know what they mean by that. Hack resistant. Woohoo. It would take approximately 400 years to brute force that password. And to brute force it on a home computer, but to brute force this, what they mean is they try every single combinations of letters, numbers, spaces until you get up to that. So even though our password seems to be pretty easy to remember, it's actually very difficult to crack. So dreaded previous 3, capitalized. So that's what we're going to use. Dreaded dash previous 3. Can't stress this enough. Don't forget your master password. Now, Chrome's password manager is going to pop up here. We don't want to save passwords in our Chrome because that kind of defeats the purposes of securing them all in Bitwarden. So when this pops up, we're going to say never. We're going to go to our settings, down to passwords. Offer to save passwords is off, and we want this off because we're not going to use these passwords at all. In fact, I'm going to remove all the passwords that are in here because we're not going to use this page at all. I go back to my master password because now we have to sign in. Dreaded. I have nothing in my vault, so now I'm ready to start using it. You can click add item to add items to your vault. You don't want to do that. What we want to do is add the Bitwarden extension and let it manage all of our passwords in our browser. We want to install the Bitwarden Chrome extension so we can easily add and fill in our passwords. We'll go to the extension, we'll add it. Now remember, it shows up and then it disappears right away. Because if you've seen any of my other videos, that's what Chrome likes to do. We have to click the puzzle piece here to pin the Bitwarden extension. Now the extension, when you're not logged in, is grayed out. So I need to sign into that. Sign in with our email address we signed up with. And now there are no items in our list. We need to save some passwords. Now that we have the extension installed, I want to show you how you would use it. So let's create an account on Chipotle, because that's very important to have your Chipotle account. Now, it wants a password. I can go up to the Bitwarden and there's a generator built in right here. Now by default it says random passwords. You can keep that. You can adjust the characters it uses. So now it's going to have special characters. It's going to be 14. Every time I hit regenerate password, it's going to give me a new password. So I'm going to click on the generator and just use one of these passwords. I copied it into my clipboard. And if I want to look to see what it looks like, I can. But most of the time, I don't even care. I don't need to remember that. Mobile number. I'm not putting a mobile number. No. So now I've got my login for Chipotle with my email address and password. Unfortunately, some websites mess with the extension and I don't get the bar that says to add this password. So we have to add it manually, which is kind of a pain. Add login. Our username is educate is our email address. And then our passwords, that password that I still have copied. Now when you visit a site that is saved in your vault, it's got the little 1 up there. When I go to sign in, I can click on the little 1 and there is my information. Click it, it fills in the information, and then I can sign in. A lot of sites it'll ask you to save it. Chipotle is not one. So I'm going to create a GitHub account here. We're going to generate a new password. And now GitHub is supported. You'll see it should Bitwarden remember this password for you. So I don't have to add the login for GitHub because it remembers it. So I saved it, and we're gonna log out so you can see what it looks like. There's a little 1, so I know I'm on a site that I have saved in Bitwarden. I can click sign in, and when I click on this, so I can have multiple logins for the same site too, but I don't have to remember what that password is. This long mess of a password, I don't have to remember that at all. Every site has this nice secure password, and I don't have to, all I have to do is remember my original one, dreaded previous 3. And that one's pretty easy to remember. Everybody's going to be trying to hack me after this is done. I'm going to change my password after the video is done so you don't see that. We're going to look at my vault now. You can organize your items into folders. I've started to do that, but it's a lot easier to not even mess with it. I can go to search vault and just start typing the site or a username, and it'll show me all those matching entries. But now I have at least these 2 that are totally encrypted. I don't have to worry about anybody seeing that information. I also use it for my credit cards. I can fill in with this with my credit card information, and it will automatically fill in my credit card information when I purchase stuff. Some people might not be comfortable with their credit card information being added to a service, so it's just whatever your comfort level is. I trust them. It's all encrypted with my master password, so no one else can see it, and it's worth it to me to have that flexibility to be able to easily fill in my credit card information. Under identity, you can fill in all sorts of information about yourself. It's all encrypted, so you can put your social security number, and it's all back to, do you trust Bitwarden to keep your information secure? I don't use this that much, but you can fill all of that information in to make it easier to fill out sites online. That's what the identity is. And the nice piece is, if you're in a family, I can add other family members to this identity. So if I need somebody's social security number in my family, it's all in here, it's all encrypted. Finally, there are secure notes. Secure notes are just encrypted information that you want to save. It could be prescriptions that you're on, allergy warnings, other medical information that you want to keep safe, but you have a nice little note field here that you can type out all of your deepest, darkest secrets, and it's all included. It's all encrypted, and you have access to it, but no one else does unless they have your master password. That's why your master password is very, very important to keep it safe. Do not write it down, and do not forget it. That's a lot to know. Every once in a while, and you can set up however you want to do this, I export all of my data. And I usually use comma delimited, and it's going to ask for me for my password. This is your most dangerous file on your machine. It has each site, it has our username, it has our password. So you can always back up your, and you could print this out if you want to. Oh, but that's, anytime you put something on paper, it makes it more difficult. But some people like to have that peace of mind of, I can still have access to my documents, my passwords, no matter what. So you can export them. Just be very, very careful with your exported passwords, because people, you could be in a world of hurt if this document got out anywhere. So that's it for getting started with the password manager. Most important takeaway is, do not forget your master password. And you can go in and change it if you want, but do not forget your master password. I store my entire life in my password vault. If something happened to my password vault, it would be very painful to me. But the ease of use outweighs any issues if I forget my master password. I just try to make sure I don't forget that. So that's it for today. If you like this video, hit the like down below, and also visit my website over at educate.me. Stay classy.